Hi, my name is Mr McNicholas. I'm a science teacher and I have an absolute passion for reading. It probably stemmed from the fact that I was a member of the Puffin Book Club back in primary school. And me and my dad, particularly, we used to really enjoy a good bedtime read. And the earliest books I remember are probably Roald Dahl's, but very soon I moved on to Tolkien and The Hobbit, and that stayed a favourite for a long time. And now I've had my own children. I've had the joy of being able to read all these books again. Over the last probably year, we've hit all sorts, particularly during the lockdown. It's been a great time. And I thought it's probably best if I start by just reading a section to you. So I picked Roald Dahl's Danny Champion the World, which was a classic when I was young and remains so now. Chapter 8 is all about the pit, and it covers the area where Danny actually heads to the wood, very concerned about his father and the fact he's not returned. His father's famous for being a poacher, and it's his passion and hobby that he kept quiet for so many years. Chapter 8, The Pit. I can't possibly describe to you what it felt like to be standing alone in the pitchy blackness of that silent wood in the small hours of the night. The sense of loneliness was overwhelming. The silence was as deep as death, and the only sounds were the ones I made myself. I tried to keep absolutely still for as long as possible to see if I could hear anything at all. I listened and listened. I held my breath and listened again. I had a queer feeling that the whole wood was listening with me. The trees and the bushes, the little animals hiding in the undergrowth, and the birds roosting in the branches. All were listening. Even the silence was listening. Silence was listening to silence. I switched on the torch. A brilliant beam of light reached out ahead of me like a long white arm. That was better. Now at any rate, I could see where I was going. The keepers would also see. But I didn't care about the keepers anymore. The only person I cared about was my father. I wanted him back. I kept the torch on and went deeper into the wood. "Dad!" I shouted. "Dad, it's Danny! Are you there?" I didn't know which direction I was going in. I just went on walking and calling out, walking and calling. And each time I called, I would stop and listen. But no answer came. Now, as you can see, one of the great things about this story is there's so many parts where he develops his relationship with his father, and you get the insight of seeing that and how much joy the two of them have spending time together. And then there's the dark moments as the story develops. But as the story is called, Danny Champion the World, as you can imagine, he comes out on top in the end, him and his father. And the villain gets exactly what he deserves. And I think that's the thing that we sometimes forget about books. They can take us to a place. They can allow us to imagine that we're there, watching it all. And as I said, the thing I really enjoy, as I read stories to my children, as I look down, I can see the fact that they're absolutely ensnared, they're captured by the story, and they feel like they're there. So find your own book, find something you truly enjoy, and disappear.